The sound of the gavel hit like thunder. "Mr. Clean," the judge said, his voice flat and cold. "Do you understand that you're being asked to provide child support for the minor in question?" My sister, Claire, squeezed my husband's hand tighter. "My husband, Ethan," she said, chin lifted, her voice trembling just enough to sound rehearsed. She insisted she'd take responsibility. After all, the child was conceived during their marriage. My mother nodded from the gallery, tears shining in her eyes. Not for me, of course, for them. My father's look held disappointment, sharp and silent. I just smiled. Everyone thought that was the moment I finally broke. But I hadn't, not even close. Claire had always wanted everything I had: my clothes, my friends, my parents' praise. And eventually, my husband. I used to think it was harmless jealousy, something she'd outgrow. But envy, when it's fed long enough, turns into hunger. Ethan and I got married 5 years ago. He was charming, disciplined, quiet in a way that made people mistake him for kind. I made the same mistake. He used to call me his calm in the storm. I thought that meant love. I didn't realize it meant convenience. It started small. Her name coming up too often. Her texts popping up on his phone with weak excuses. "She just needs advice," he'd say. "She's lonely." I wanted to believe him. Until I saw her name on a hotel invoice addressed to him. 2 nights. Same suite. Same dates as his business trip. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He just looked at me with empty eyes and said, "You've always been too cold, too distant." Claire understands me. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. I didn't cry. Not then, not ever. Tears are a kind of currency to people like them, and I'd already paid enough. So, I stayed quiet for the next 6 months. No shouting, no accusations, just silence. I filed for divorce calmly, signed the papers with steady hands. They thought I was retreating, but really, I was rebuilding. While they showed off their affair, the pregnancy announcement, the cozy family dinners, my mother's Facebook post calling the baby a miracle born from love, I was working. I dug into Ethan's business records, traced every transaction, and that's when I found it. The money trail. The loan he took out using my name. Fraud, clear as day. Signed, dated, documented. I smiled when I handed him the pen to sign the divorce settlement. The papers gave him full ownership of the property, the car, and the company, all assets legally under his name. What he didn't know was that I had already reported every bit of it to the authorities as fraudulent. So while he thought he was winning, he was actually inheriting a disaster. I walked away clean. 2 months later, their baby girl was born. My parents begged me to visit and make peace. I went, not out of love, but curiosity. Claire looked radiant in that smug, self-satisfied way only new mothers and thieves can. She handed me the baby, smiling sweetly. "You can hold her," she said. "She's your family too." I leaned in close enough for her to catch the calm in my tone when I whispered, "Family is earned." Claire. Not stolen. A few weeks later, the court summons arrived. They claimed Ethan couldn't afford child support. His company had collapsed, the bank seized their house, and his accounts were frozen under investigation. They blamed me, said it was my fault. I let them believe it. And now, here we were, standing in court. Claire played the perfect victim, her voice trembling, while Ethan sat beside her, silent and pale. My parents glared at me like I'd burned down a church. When the judge asked if I had anything to say, I stood slowly, keeping my composure. "Yes, Your Honor," I said. "I do." I stepped forward. In addition to being my husband, Ethan Clean was also my business partner. Before our separation, he took out multiple loans in my name without my consent. I reported the fraud months ago. The evidence has already been submitted. A wave of murmurs rippled through the courtroom. I continued, steady and clear. "As for the child, I wish her no harm. But I will not pay for their deceit. Every account, every transfer, every signature was arranged by Ethan and approved by Claire. And under oath, I can prove it." Claire's face drained of color. Ethan's hand slipped from hers. The judge called for order, but it was too late. The truth had already detonated. Their lawyer stuttered through excuses. My parents turned to me, their certainty crumbling into confusion. Claire whispered something desperate to Ethan, but I didn't care enough to hear. I watched as it all sank in, the realization that they had built their new life on lies. And now it was collapsing piece by piece. When the court recessed, reporters crowded outside. I walked past them without a word. Behind me, I heard my mother call my name, begging me to fix what they had broken. I didn't look back.